The breakthrough is what we're waiting on. A sense of relief is what we're longing for. But the only question that I have for you is, do you know where you are? Come on. Do you know where you are? This is called detecting the season. I spoke on this before. This is part 2 of detecting the season. This means is to seek God for understanding and asking God, where am I? What season am I in? So that you can know what to expect, so that you can know what areas in your life that God is trying to improve. Come on. And the one thing that holds us back and that keeps us in this gravitational pull where we cannot move forward, where we cannot see the breakthrough, is not knowing where we are spiritually. You have to detect the season and know where you are spiritually, because what happens is God can send one messenger that have many messages that will speak to a multitude of people. But if you keep pulling from different people or different messages, trying to apply it to your life, I promise you that will cause frustration in your life, because you're trying to pull from every word. See, tonight I had a totally different message, but God has instructed me to tell you to detect the season, so that you know where you are, because this time you're trying to access the breakthrough and you're wondering, why can't I see change in my life? Why is it that I'm going through the same cycles? But is God in this season trying to discipline you? Is God trying to get your attention so that you can become obedient? Come on, catch them diamonds. You cannot access a breakthrough in your life if you do not know where you are. You can't keep pulling different messages trying to apply it to your life. It's going to cause frustration. It's going to send you in a circle, because every message that comes out may not be for you. And what happens is, because we're in a place of desperation, we pull on every good word that we hear. Come on now. Catch them diamonds. This was not my message tonight, but God told me to tell you to detect the season. Come on now. I have my own testimony. When I was in this place of being transitioning to another space in life spiritually, I remember coming to the man of God, and he said, God said, stay on this level. You're not there yet. You're not finished. Whatever this means to you, God said, stay here, and then you'll go to another level. That means I had to complete whatever I was going through in that season of my life. I could not move forward to the breakthroughs. I could not move forward to the place I am at now. Come on now. This has been in my spirit to make this message. And before I release a prophetic message, God says, first, tell them to check with me, detect the season, so that you won't keep living in frustration. And that's why you're frustrated. You're not seeing the breakthrough, but you can feel it. But there is something that you need to complete first. Come on now, catch them diamonds. And I am telling you this because this is the last year you should repeat a cycle. There is no reason you should keep repeating the same cycle. You hear about the breakthrough, but don't see it. You feel this sense of relief, but it just never comes through for you. And I know that you are tired. And I know you're saying, God, what's happening in my life? Why does it look the same? But there is something you first must complete. We can't keep pulling on every word that we want to apply to us because it feels good. I don't know why I'm saying this, and I don't know how many people need to hear it, but this has been in my spirit to give this message. I was coming with a prophetic word, but God says, before you release that, tell them to get in alignment with me so they won't spend another year being confused, so they won't think that I have forsaken them. God is with you, but are you with God? Come on now. Come on now. Catch them diamonds. This should be the last time you go through a cycle. This year you got to get in alignment. Come on now. Detect your season so that you won't keep pulling every word and thinking that it applies to you. And when you don't see nothing come to pass, then you will get upset with the person who came with the message. See, you got to understand, when God sent a messenger, it is up to you to know where you stand and if this word applies or not. One messenger, but many messages. Come on now. You gotta be accountable for that. Because when God sends somebody to speak, they don't know where you at. You know where you at. You know whether or not this word is for you. Sometimes we want things to be for us, but that may not be where we are. Let me give you another story. I remember when I was making plans without God. I had plans to go to New York to stay with family. And I had my plans all in the bag, making my decision. I'm about to go do this. I'm about to go do that. Because sometimes when we're in a place of desperation and we're trying to make something happen because we know we're supposed to be somewhere, I know that this is not it. So we start making our own plans. I remember one night going to church. It was a small group, just a small group of us. We're in the church and the man of God comes to speak. He was giving prophecies to everybody. And I remember I was standing in line. We moved to the side. He said, God is showing me that you're trying to move out of your city. God says, no, stay here. Then you can go and relocate and do this and do that. And I could not believe it. How God know what I was trying to do? And that's how real it is. Nobody knew this but me. There is no way the man of God would have known that unless he's a real messenger. Nobody knew. I was on my way to my second home, New York. I know that's where I was supposed to be. And later on, this comes to pass where I was supposed to be. This like my second home. Come on now. Catch them diamonds. See, God knows exactly where you are. And the question is, do you? This is real testimony. I have my receipts for that. I will play the audio for you to hear the man of God says, God, show me you're trying to move out the city. God says, stay here. Then we'll go. Then we'll do this. Then you'll have that. True story. This is why I'm coming to you with it. This cannot be another year where you repeat a cycle. And you're repeating cycles because you don't know where you are. Because you're not seeking God. All you do is seek God about where you want to be. And that was me too. No shame in it. It's okay that we want to be in a better place. But see, God has to mold you and shape you. And that's real. You got to come into a place of maturity. Especially when you know God has called you to do something great. God has, you have a heavy influence. And God is going to use you. You definitely have to come into a place of maturity. Catch them diamonds. And let me add this to it. During this time, I was only 22 years old or 23. So when I said, how did God know? That's because I've never experienced God on that type of level before, because I just got baptized at 21. So when I met the man of God, which is my spiritual counselor and advisor now, after 12 or 13 years, he's still here speaking into my life. We're seeing a lot of things come to pass. That's why I say, how did God know? Because I've never experienced God. I've never even experienced the prophet back then. I was blessed to come across him and also his wife in their ministry. And they took me up under their wings. And everything that I'm doing now, when he said, no, God is shaping you and molding you. God is raising you up to be a voice, for his kingdom. You're being called to ministry and you're also a motivational speaker. God says, hold on. God is doing things in your life. I was breaking so many chains, so many generational curses, and it had to be done here in this ground. Then I would be able to elevate, and then I would be able to relocate, because I knew my heart was where it was calling me to. But then after that, then that's when the prophecy started to come to pass. What you're seeing now is just me coming up under God, in alignment with God at an early age, and now we're walking out the prophecies. It could take 7, 8, 9, 10 years, 11 years. That's how long it has taken for me to get to where I am, but it don't feel like it, because once you start working and you know your season, you know where you belong and what God is doing in your life in that moment, whether you're waiting, whether God is getting you into a place of being patient or obedient, you know where you are. And once you know that, things go a little smoother for you, because now I'm in alignment with God. Come on now. Somebody say rerouting, and I just come to let you know God is rerouting you. Come on now. Do you know where you are? And before I close my message, I'm going to leave you with this. In order to get the breakthrough, you cannot continue to be lazy, procrastinate, live in fear. Because the truth of the matter, God is not going to baby you. You're going to feel like you're crying, pouting, and God is still going to watch you cry yourself to sleep. Because no matter what, you must finish what you started on this level. God must purge you first in order for you to get the breakthrough, because where you're going, there needs to be maturity within you. Come on now. I used to cry, kick, and scream and beg God to open doors. Open up these doors for me, God. I know I got it. I know I got what it takes, but the truth is I didn't. Come on. The truth is I didn't. What I'm doing now, I saw it in my head, but I didn't have it then. I didn't have nothing to give you. And a lot of times we want to access things without going through the shaping and the molding. And that's what a lot of you do. I know it because I did it too. Ain't no shame in it. I'm just letting you know you can't keep being scared. You can't keep on living like that. You can't keep living in fear. You can't keep on being lazy. You got to do the work. See, we want miracles just to happen for us, and it don't happen like that. You got to be in alignment with God to start seeing miracles like that. Doors open, people come out of nowhere, people putting money towards you to invest in you, things just happening for you. You got to be in alignment when you see stuff like that happen in the universe. It can happen, but do you know where you are? You can't keep repeating the same old thing. God not gonna baby you. I promise you, God not gonna baby you. Because before God raise you up, you gonna become more mature and a real leader. You can't be no wimp. You can't be afraid to go out here and address people. You can't be afraid and so timid. How can you lead a pack of people when you're still scared? You can't lead like that. And I promise you, you're not as ready as you think you are. Go through your process. God is rerouting you. Let God reroute you. Detect your season so you can get your breakthrough. Catch them diamonds.